Welcome to Careers Week at Sunny TAFE. My name is Terry Sparrow and I'm the Business Manager for Automotive, Engineering, OHS and Transport. We're known as the Industries Department here at Sunny TAFE. Joining me today also is Rod Sparrow, who is a teacher in the Automotive Department. As a young person looking for a future in one of these areas, Sunny TAFE is well equipped to make sure that you are job ready and have the skills required to be successful in industry. Automotive offers great courses at Certificate 2 level, which allows students to gain a great understanding and a basic knowledge of what to expect in this industry. There's also a great pathway into an apprenticeship as an automotive mechanic. Automotive mechanics can be employed into light vehicle, which involves servicing and repairs to cars and four-wheel drives, heavy vehicle, which looks after trucks, agricultural mechanical, working on tractors, headers and farm equipment, and also mobile plant and equipment, which mainly services excavators, graders, and equipment that's used in the mining industry. Our engineering department also offers Cert 2 programs, which are again great for someone who wants to learn that basic knowledge in engineering. And it also provides you with a pathway into an engineering apprenticeship. Engineering here at Sunny TAFE is broken into two sections. We have mechanical engineering and fabrication. Engineering mechanical teaches you to use equipment such as lathes, milling machines, CNC machines, while fabrication focuses on welding, structural steel erection and surface finishing. The trades areas mentioned above have all recently had some fantastic new equipment put into service for our students. Some of the equipment in automotive, for example, we've just installed a vehicle test lane, can test suspension systems and braking systems on the car without having to go out onto the road. We've got a brand new 3D wheel alignment machine, tyre changing machine, a new balancing machine, and along with also a new chassis dyno, which again allows us to do testing on vehicles. We don't need to take the vehicle out onto the road, so we can test a car, do everything we need to do on that vehicle, and have it still in the workshop. In engineering, we've just equipped ourselves with all new MIG and TIG welders, also a CNC plasma machine, and also a CNC lathe. All of the new equipment that we've got, it's been carefully selected so that students are learning to use the latest equipment and sometimes even equipment that will be used into the future in their industry. And it's what we see that people will be using as they find their way through their apprenticeship. And it's also the future needs of training in our industries. Another department that falls in industries at Sunny TAFE is the OH&S department. So Sunny TAFE offers Cert 3, Cert 4 and diploma level courses in OHS, which cater for anyone who may have a role as a health and safety rep at their workplace, right through to people wishing to learn skills and manage OH&S for large companies. Along with that, we also offer short courses in OHS, which include things such as construction induction card, which provides people with a card so that they can enter construction sites. Another industry that we look after is transport. Transport is a rapidly growing industry and there are a lot of jobs available in the transport industry. Jobs in the transport industry range from truck drivers, forklift operators, administration, warehouse management, right through accounting and leadership and management. Sunny TAFE has a range of courses that suit people looking to gain employment in this industry. The industry department, it's staffed by experts in each of their fields. Our staff here have years and years of experience in the real world. They've then found their way to Sunny TAFE and they know what it takes to be successful on the job. Now, if there is any questions, please put those in the chat and between myself and Rod, we'll attempt to answer those. Sort of throw to Rod and he's going to give us a little bit of a rundown on some of the things that he covers at Sunny TAFE. So Rod, can you give us a quick rundown on what's covered in the Cert 2 automotive courses and especially the Cert 2 automotive that's aimed at vet?
Yeah, good question. So currently the VETIS program that we're running, it's a really good introduction into the automotive industry. It kind of gives a rough overview of all things automotive without being too specific in one area, because as we can all imagine, it's ever evolving and a growing industry. few of the things we concentrate on, which employers look for, is stuff like tools, health and safety, communication, environmental, which is very, very important probably through all trades and all employment. The more vehicle-specific things is things like wheels and tyres, mechanical systems, electrical systems. We even get into basic electrical, soldering and vehicle servicing. Probably a big part of the course that I would like to think sets Sunny TAFE kind of apart from the others is, where possible, we carry out industry visits. So we go into real world workshops, have a look around, speak with the service managers, the foremans and the other technicians. We've also had industry experts come into the classroom and give us a rundown on what they do in the workplace, what they look for in employment, and give some other good tips as well. Kind of with Sunny TAFE, if you were interested as a vetting school student in the automotive industry, and wanted to take that next step and become an apprentice, Sunny TAFE, to say you've studied there in our local industry, is very, very highly regarded. That goes for all our industries. But I know that in automotive, if you've got that Sunny TAFE tick of approval, you're going to go a long, long way.
I've got a question here. Is there a pre-apprenticeship course for heavy vehicle or transport? The pre-apprenticeship course, it is just automotive. So yes, the Cert 2 program that Rod was talking about is the pre-apprenticeship course for heavy vehicle. And there is also some stuff we can do in transport as well. There is a course in transport and logistics employment pathway. It looks after the really basic stuff that you would need in the transport industry. It covers off things like manual handling, again, as Rod mentioned, OHS, environmental, those sorts of things. And with that one as well, probably the only, the thing you need to remember with that transport course is you need to be 18 years of age, because included into that course is doing a forklift license. What entry-level course would you recommend for an older person out of school looking to change careers? Look, we've got a wonderful course running at the moment in engineering, which, if someone's looking to go down that path, we've got a career changer in there at the moment that I can think of. He's a mature age gentleman. He's had a passion for that industry for a long time, but he works in another industry. So he's actually currently doing Certificate 4 in engineering. That course we run stuff through the day, and there's also some night stuff that runs there as well. It is a fantastic course for those who are interested in anything to do with engineering. Even if you've just got a passion for it, you don't have to be trade qualified. Someone out of school looking to go into any of our courses, we also have Certificate 2 in engineering, which is one of the questions I had here, which we're going to throw to Rod again. So Rod, you've got a friend of yours who been involved with for a long time. He's a mechanical engineer, so spent a lot of time at university, but he spent a gap year here at Sunny TAFE studying. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, one of my best friends, very, very smart type of fellow, completed year 12, had career aspirations to become a mechanical engineer, like I think that most people probably do now, decide to take that gap year. What he decided to do was to study at Sunny TAFE and enrolled in a Cert 2 automotive. There's a couple of reasons he did that. He could be working kind of flexibly at the moment and earning a few dollars off to the side, but it also gave him probably a better understanding of the industry at a more suitable level, or a generic level, before he went into that higher stream. So he ended up, gaining employment in the motorsport industry. He has worked in America, Europe, and Australia, very, very successfully, mind you, and is currently residing in Brisbane, working for a rather large company there. So probably a pretty good Sunny TAFE success story.
So Rod, also, I can remember years ago you talked about your time with Holden having guys who were involved in university and coming into the workshops almost at that sort of pre-apprenticeship level to learn the basic skills, because they'd never been in a Cert 2 type situation where they're learning those basic hand skills, yet they've headed off to university to do a much, much higher program. So maybe if you could just touch on that a little bit, what some of those guys were trying to get out of that and how that would fit with the Cert 2 program.
Yeah, so definitely, I've probably looked at both ends of the spectrum there. So I've had, when I was still in trade, I had people, once again, taking gap year just to get more knowledge in their study area, learn a few more hands-on skills and things like that. But I also used to have qualified engineers come into the workplace that hadn't done any type of pre-apprenticeship or anything like that. They'd been straight to the high level, where we'd call them in for some issues and stuff like that and some guidance. But we actually found that we were educating them on basic fundamentals. They had to actually get in and have a look, realise that they couldn't just kind of use their computers to their advantage. They had to go back to old school and use spanners and screwdrivers, which at the end of the day, everything's still got nuts and bolts and, needs looking at.
Thanks for that, Rod. Got another question here. What's the difference between fabrication and mechanical engineering, and which one is more preferred in industry? Look, the difference between fabrication and mechanical, I'll use some really simple terms here. So mechanical engineers, they take big chunks of metal and turn them into smaller chunks of metal, and fabricators take small pieces of metal and turn them into larger ones. So what we're talking about there is the mechanical engineering guys. They're the blokes that we would classify as a fitter and turner. That's what it used to be called years ago. So they're guys using lathes, turning down into precision type stuff that you would use in engineering, components, things like that you might use in vehicles, machinery, those types of things. The fabricators are the guys you see actually building larger machinery. They may be building wine tankers, trailers, things like that. So predominantly fabrication is more welding based, and the mechanical engineering stuff is around using lathes, milling machines, a lot of CNC controlled stuff now, so computer numerically controlled. And what that means is we're able to achieve exactly the same result with that machine every single time, and in a fraction of the time that a person could do that manually. There's a lot involved in programming that machine, so obviously we still need someone who can program, but then we can let the machine take over and we'll get a precision job every single time, and as I said, in a much, much faster time than you could do it manually. Are there many females in the courses that we've described? Look, we don't get a great deal of females in these courses, but not to say that we couldn't have females in all of these courses. So we've certainly had females in our areas. We currently don't have any in automotive. We do have some in engineering. And obviously in the transport field, there's no reason at all that females can't work, and they do work very successfully in the transport industry. Transport is one area where mining, for instance, will employ females to drive a lot of their large equipment because females are gentler on the machinery. So that's a little bit of a positive there, where a lot of businesses have picked up on that, and transport industry has also gone that way. There was a time when certain transport companies would mainly focus on using female drivers for their trucks, simply because there was less downtime with breakages and things like that.
Yeah, so interesting question, because when I was in industry, I have employed a female apprentice and had her go through. My hobby as well was also quite a large motorsport background. So we actually at one stage employed a young female who was undertaking a Cert 2 at Sunny TAFE. I would say she was probably head and shoulders better than anyone in the class. So she was employed on her merit for no other reason at all. She was very, very good. We had her, she completed her apprenticeship, done a 4-year apprenticeship. Around probably had her stay on for another couple of years after that, before she decided she wanted to a career change and become a nurse, which she did study locally as well. And from all accounts, she's very, very successful. So what we had her doing was actually building race engines. And she probably actually, at one stage in time held, Australian records and so forth for the fastest drag cars in Australia. So that was, a pretty cool accomplishment for any 19, 20-year-old to do. But like I said, we and I'll use the whole auto industry, if someone has the skills and those types of attributes, doesn't matter, female, male, whatever, they can do the job, we're going to give them a go.
Yeah, and I think one of the other ones that I always talk about is a lot of young ladies have an attention to detail that young males don't have. So, yeah, females certainly make very, very good tradies because they have that attention to detail. They take on board what you're saying and are able to produce a really good quality job. So, yeah, certainly a lot of room, and really we need more females in trade industries. So if there's anyone out there who's interested, certainly talk to us about that, because we've seen females come through and we need more to come through. Rod, another quick question for you. Where do you see and what are some of the jobs that you see, especially in the automotive industry?
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people, as soon as they think auto, they think kind of a mechanic's a mechanic, and that's it. We fix stuff with spanners and that's it. It really has almost split, even in all the trades, where you kind of get your nuts and bolts mechanics that are out there fixing engines and suspension and brakes and all that stuff. But we also get the guys that are very, very tech savvy and good with computers. So they might be using laptops and scan tools and multimeters, more so than the screwdrivers and spanners. And that's just in the actual mechanic side of things. We're also seeing a lot of the larger dealerships and things like that, putting on people as service technician roles, which can be done under a 12-month traineeship. So it might be for someone that doesn't quite want to do all the schooling of being a mechanic and just want to do basic service operations, because generally that is a large majority of our job is just the servicing. So these people can basically just be on the lube bay, running through the work for their boss, making them a lot of money, and then handballing all of the more difficult jobs off to the more senior technicians. Interestingly enough, though, it probably doesn't stop at just being a mechanic. Both myself and Terry were trade mechanics, and now we have a manager and a TAFE teacher. Plenty of guys I deal with now, in my role at Sunny TAFE, apprentices that I went to school with. They're now service managers or workshop foremans. They could be moved into sales, spare parts. So it's not really the end of the line when you kind of decide the trade you want to pick. It definitely can change and still be under the same industry.
Yep. I've got a question here. Is there good job outcomes when completing an apprenticeship in automotive light vehicle, and is it in demand in the Sunraysia region? Probably a pretty quick answer to that is yes, there are good job outcomes. Most people, when they finish their apprenticeship, they'll stay on where they were. Years and years ago, it used to be that you finished your apprenticeship and then you went out and found a job in the real world, they used to call it. But now, if you're going to put someone through an apprenticeship and you're going to spend 4 years with them and have them train for 4 years, you want to keep them in your business. So yes, there's demand in Sunraysia region. You could pretty much, if you're a trade qualified mechanic, I think you could just about walk into any workshop in this area, show them your resume, say, and again, we said it's always a big tick if you're trained at Sunny TAFE. I think you'd pick up a job very, very quickly. So, yeah.
I don't think there'd probably be too many weeks go by where someone here doesn't get a phone call from a local employer, trying to get the gossip on the grapevine on who's looking for work. Yeah, there's lots out there.
Yeah, all of our trades areas are a very, very competitive industry at the moment. So they're looking for the best people for their business. So at SunnyTAFE, because we have so many apprentices coming through SunnyTAFE, and we're always in touch with businesses and industry locally, we tend to see what's going on. We know who's moving around. And as Rod said, we get a lot of phone calls around, have you got someone, is there a good kid coming through a schools program who's interested in an apprenticeship? We've had that happen a lot. So we generally get around this time of year and we'll be contacted by employers asking us, what's the best kids you've got coming through? Is there any chance you can send them our way? So what we do there is we generally open that up to the whole group and make sure everyone's got their resume on point. And then we'll just say to those guys, there's a business that's looking for someone. We tell the whole group, and then it's up to that group to go and sell themselves really and go through that process of having a job interview, maybe a trial, and then that business will pick out the most appropriate person for their business and their team.
I would think, Terry, that if we looked at our school students, our secondary school students, not all of those want to be mechanics. Some might want to just learn some skills to maintain their own vehicle and change a tyre, which is fine. That's all part of the learning. I'd like to think that the ones that are probably legitimately chasing apprenticeships, well, what percentages do you think we'd probably end up seeing in employment there?
Oh yeah, we have a very high percentage rate of people who come through here as a Cert 2. If they're looking for an apprenticeship, and again, it doesn't matter in which field, it could be in building, any of the fields, engineering, automotive. If that person is keen on an apprenticeship, look, I'd probably think we'd have around an 80% success rate here of getting people into a job. So, and the other one too is the success rate and completion rate of our apprentices. We're the leader in Victoria as far as completion rates go for apprentices. It's SunnyTAFE and then Daylight. So there is a long gap between SunnyTAFE and the next best when it comes to completions of apprenticeships. Look, as always, if anyone's interested in any courses that we have at all at SunnyTAFE, certainly all the W's behind us, sunnytafe.edu.au. You can also give us a call here at SunnyTAFE. Free to discuss at any time with the managers here at SunnyTAFE about all the courses. And that's probably one of the things with SunnyTAFE too. If you want to discuss your course with a teacher, you can discuss it with a teacher. So we've still got that regional country feel about us here. And yeah, we like to make sure that we're looking after our area and that we also look after our industries. So yeah, that's probably it for us. Look, thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks Rod for jumping on the line over in the automotive area. Again, if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to drop us a line. And yeah, you can always check out our website for more information as well. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. See you later.